Hello. If you're watching this video, it's because hopefully you're preparing yourself for a Dell AI Business Alignment workshop. And what I want to do in this video is to give you an idea as far as what to expect and what to come prepared to do so that you get the most out of this 4-hour workshop. So let's dive right into it to make sure, you're as prepared as possible. So we believe that it's critical if you're trying to create an AI journey that delivers more responsible, meaningful, and ethical outcomes, that you have to begin with an end in mind. That, the AI journey is fairly complex, lots of new technologies. You're going to make great use of data. You're going to have to reskill some people. You're going to have some cultural tweaking here and there, but we must begin with an end in mind. And so this workshop, this AI Business Alignment workshop, is geared to make sure we've identified a problem to go after, a problem that has meaningful outcomes or relevance to the organization, and get prepared to create a path to guide you from a business need to a business outcome. We believe that journey starts not by talking about AI and not by talking about data, but by talking about how your organization creates value. That is, how do you define and measure your value creation initiatives or initiatives or aspirations or challenges? So think about what you're trying to accomplish as an organization over the next 12 to 16 months from a business perspective. What is it you're trying to accomplish? What are the desired outcomes from that initiative? And what are the KPIs and metrics against which you're going to measure success? So we want to start with a business initiative, something that's valuable to the organization, because as I mentioned before, this AI journey is going to require a significant investment in data quality and data management, data governance. It's going to require some technology and building models. It's going to require reskilling some people, and it's going to require some organizational massaging. So if we're going to undertake that kind of commitment, we need to target something that's meaningful to your organization and to your constituents. So again, business initiative, what are the desired outcomes? What are the KPIs and metrics against which you're going to measure success? But in the workshop, we want to go one more level down. We also want to look at this business initiative from the perspective of the key stakeholders, those people who are impacted by that business initiative, who are the keys to the success of that business initiative. We want to understand, what's in it for them. Why is this important to them? What are their desired outcomes, which may differ and be more broad than what we just talked about before? What are the key decisions that they have to make? And what are the KPIs and metrics against which they're going to measure outcomes and decisions effectiveness? We're going to use all that from the initiative level and the stakeholder level to actually identify use cases around which we can then drive our business initiative. So the power of use cases is not only are they linked to or tethered to my business initiative, but they're also a linkage point between my business side of the organization, my business stakeholders, and my data and analytics teams. It's around these use cases that we can drive this collaboration. So let's dive into the process you're going to go through, knowing that these are our objectives: business initiative, stakeholders, use cases, so that we can come back to you with a plan that says, here's how you can drive your AI journey on a use case by use case basis. So again, as I mentioned before, we're going to thoroughly assess a targeted business initiative or business opportunity. We're going to identify and empathize with the stakeholders. We're going to identify and assess the use cases. And along this process, we want to start building collaboration across the diverse set of functions in the organization. The workshop itself is going to look like this, right? You're going to work in teams. We're going to break people into groups of 4 to 6 people. Each team will tackle a business initiative. Now, you may come in to this with only one business initiative, and you might have multiple teams all tackling the same business initiative, which is great because it gives you great synergy. But you may bring multiple use cases in. And so in that case, we might segment that this team is going to work on this one, this team's going to work on that. But ahead of time, we're going to decide what the business initiatives are, and we'll even go through the process of building out the team so we can create some cross-functional teams. The teams are going to collaborate, do collaboration. We're going to provide them templates against which you're going to work, lots of flip charts, lots of Post-it notes, and each team will have a Dell guide who will act as the person to help facilitate that team, who will help make sure that we're staying on time, that where everybody has a chance to be heard, that information is being caught and captured. So you'll have a guide for your team as you start to triage that business initiative. So this is kind of the overall process. We're doing the prep work now. In the actual workshop, we're going to dive right in, the business initiative template, the stakeholder template, and the use case template. So what is a business initiative? I've said that term like a zillion times already, and I've only been on here for like a couple of minutes. A business initiative, in a nutshell, is something that's strategically important to the organization over the next 12 to 16 months. Something you're trying to accomplish. It might be around customer acquisition and customer retention, or if you're a hospital, maybe you're trying to improve treatment effectiveness or nurse retention. If you're a manufacturing concern, maybe you're around reducing unplanned operational downtime, or optimizing inventory levels. Or if you're, I know, a retail or a consumer organization, maybe it's about, again, customer cross-sell and upsell and retention and referrals and such. It's something that's important to the organization. And we want to start with something that's important for the organization because AI has the potential to drive significant impact. So let's flex our muscle and go after something that's got some meat to it. Throughout the class, you'll be given an example of, for each of the canvases you're going to complete, there'll be a completed canvas for Chipotle, which is the example I use in the university where I teach. And so you'll have an example that you can use as you start to complete your own templates. So the first template is a value engineering template. It's all, we're going to pick a business initiative. And then for that business initiative, you're going to identify what are my ideal outcomes? What are the benefits? What are the impediments? What are the ramifications of failure? What are the unintended consequences of success? And we're going to use that. We're going to capture KPIs against each one of those things. So we start building out a very robust set of KPIs around which we're going to use to build our analytic models. Yes, right. It is important. It is fun. But ultimately, we're going to have to build analytic models that deliver more relevant, more meaningful, more responsible, and more ethical outcomes. And these KPIs are going to be critical. So we're going to be identifying KPIs to measure your ideal outcomes, to measure benefits, impediments, failure ramifications, and unintended consequences. Again, a robust set of KPIs. I should also mention, these are not documents you complete and then you're done with. These are living documents. As you go through the process, you may come back and add more stuff. You may change stuff. These are living documents. Second canvas is we're now going to go through and really understand our stakeholders. Now, in the workshop, since it's only a 4-hour workshop, we'll probably only have time to identify maybe 4 or 5 stakeholders. And they may not actually even be in the room, but that's okay. You're going to have to sort of put yourself in their shoes, understand from that stakeholder's perspective for this business initiative, why is this initiative important to them? What are their potential impediments? What are the key decisions they need to make? What are their desired outcomes? And the KPIs and metrics against which they're going to measure success. Again, you'll have a Chipotle example that you can use. Again, we're not going to do, there's most likely, 12, 14, 18 stakeholders involved in these initiatives. All we're going to do is get a sample, a taster, maybe pick 4 or 5 and try to understand and empathize with them with respect to that business initiative. Third template is now to start identifying and assessing our use cases. And use cases are typically comprised of a cluster of decisions and desired outcomes and KPIs around which we're going to try to drive action. The beauty of use cases is they're actionable. And if we can optimize use cases, we can deliver quantifiable value. The way we're going to label use cases is it's going to start with a verb, right? The use case starts with increase or optimize or decrease, whatever it might be. Then it's going to be either a desired outcome or a KPI, such as shopping bag revenue or store traffic or customer retention or inventory levels. And then just generically, we're going to say by X% to make sure we keep inferring the fact that these are going to be actionable. And in the workshop, you'll probably only identify 4 or 5. Again, we don't have a lot of time. In a full-blown engagement, you'd go through and identify 12, 14 use cases and really thoroughly assess these use cases from a value and feasibility perspective, because that sets the stage for what we ultimately want to do is to basically start to classify where do we think these use cases sit from a value and feasibility perspective. Again, in the workshop, you're not going to have enough time. You're not going to have involved enough people at enough level of detail to really build this out. But in the workshop, we really want to do a quick swag at this to basically figure out, well, we think these are the high value, high feasibility ones. These have high value, but have low feasibility for the following reasons. These have low value, high feasibility for the following reasons. And the low value, low feasibility is ones we just avoid. The goal for us is to get to a point we've identified a series of use cases, that are linked back or tethered back to our business initiative. Because yes, ultimately we want to start small, but we want to start small and strategic, not small and random. So we're going to recommend to you a use case roadmap. Eventually, at some point in time, we're going to come back and say, we think you need to approach this on a use case by use case basis, where each use case delivers quantifiable, measurable value to your business initiative, and each use case allows you to build out your data, your analytics, and your architectural capabilities. So we are going to start small. We are going to start on a use case by use case basis. We are going to avoid the big bang approach that never seems to work. We are going to start incremental, but we're going to start small and strategic, not small and random. So I look forward to having you at this workshop. Be prepared to work hard. It'll be intense, but hopefully it'll also be fun and enlightening as well. So thanks for your time. Cheers.